So in any case, presenting on fear and anxiety, I'm going to be talking about a lot of some of the newer ways that the psychology field is looking at this. But more specifically, I want to give you, as a Jen, some tools, some things that you can walk out of here with that you can apply to your life today. I want this to be useful for you. So first, just let me start with I guess an anecdote. So let's say that I'm somebody that you care about. We're friends, we're family somehow. We decide that we're going to go up and go horseback riding. We've been planning it for a few months. Not only that, I am so excited about it, I won't shut up about it. I've been talking about how I did it when I was at camp as a kid, and I just love it. I just can't wait to get out there and do it again, and I'm excited. And finally, the day comes, and it's a beautiful day, and we head up, and we're going to go riding. Get my horse assigned, get out of the barn. Pretty soon after that, you hear some noise, and you look over, and I am on the ground. And you can tell that, one, I'm in pain. Probably not, injured, but I'm in pain. And two, I'm not looking so excited about being there anymore. And I don't know how much you can see my face, but you're seeing this look like, that's starting to happen. No more excitement. You start to see, there's the people start to talk about, let's get him another horse, and this will be fine. And you start to see me, why? I don't really know. You care about it, you remember. Now, what would your advice be to me in that situation? What should I do? Pardon?
Get back on the horse.
Get back on the horse. And how come?
Because if you don't, you'll be afraid from then on about riding the horses.
You bet. You bet. And that anecdote, that get back on the horse, science backs that up 100%. And that's not a surprise to any of you, I imagine. Right? Okay. So you know this. You already know the way to get over fear is to move towards it, not stay away from it. So that's great. You already know a lot of what I'm talking about. The blanks I hope to fill in are, how do we get scared of other things that don't really involve falling off a horse? There's fear and anxiety. It's an intricate thing. It's not if it was just a horse or a cat or the inside of a certain car. That'd be great. So how is it that we get this way? Two, how do we stay that way? What are the things we're doing actually that make us not only not get afraid, but get more afraid and more anxious? There should be some new information there. And three, since these are some unique things, how do we get back on the horse, whatever our horse may be? And that's what I hope to talk about. If you feel comfortable in this setting, asking a question, there'll be a Q&A afterwards, and asking me a specific question about what you or somebody you know, feel free, and I'll weigh in on it. If you want to pull me aside afterwards, happy to do that and protect your privacy. Again, that's what let's get something useful out of today. Any questions about that agenda or something? Hoping I would touch on that I know we mentioned there. First off, let's normalize this thing. We all feel it. It's normal. What is fear? It's a response to a perceived immediate threat. What is that? Say I step out into the street, someone says, "Hey, car!" I look, car's bearing down on me. I don't need to do a lot of thinking because my blood pressure is going to go up, my pupils are going to dilate like crazy, the blood's going to rush to my muscles away from my stomach. I don't need to plan for any of this because I'm mobilizing for action. My body knows to do this. And hopefully, I get out of the way. My fear allowed me to do that. But there's this other one, and when we talk about fight or flight, right? There's that other one where, what about when we just freeze? No one ever says that one. We just freeze. Which happens when we're faced with something we don't quite know what to make of. We don't know what this is. It's maybe so foreign that we don't know whether to be scared of it or not. Or maybe it's just overwhelming. I've heard about this, and oh my goodness, it's actually happening. That's where fear gets not so helpful because we get that deer in the headlights thing. We stop. Regardless, it's very normal. It's, in my experience, professionally and personally, it's the worst feeling that we can feel as human beings is that. saps the life out of any moments, and sometimes days, weeks, what have you. But it's also why I like treating it. It's so prevalent and it's so treatable. So anxiety, something most of us experience, response to a perceived future threat, because we have the ability to think in the abstract as human beings are able to plan. And this, again, just like fear, can be a good thing. I can plan for a trip, make sure I got enough gas, and make sure my tires have tread on it, make sure my kids have enough snacks so that when we get halfway through it and they're hungry, even though they said they're not going to be, I got my snack. And I can do all those things because I've thought about what might happen, and I can take steps to avert problems, cars tuned up, etc. When it gets to be too much, is that what, paralysis by analysis, or that phrase, you just get into that spinning mode of, oh gosh, what should I do? Do I even want to go to the mountains? Or if I go, should I drive? Which car? Maybe my friend could drive, but maybe I want to go a day later than she would, so maybe I should take my own car. But then there's the gas and carbon emissions. Too much, and we're not going anywhere. But again, very, very normal. Okay. So I think this is helpful to understand the difference between what's normal and what we would call diagnostic, or in my world, a disorder. And here are just a couple examples. I use panic, and I use obsessions and compulsion. So first case, panic. 35% of average adults in the United States every year experience panic symptoms, which are elevated heart rate, gasping for breath, feeling hot, and also feeling dizzy, to the point where it's uncomfortable. Just 35% of us are going to feel that in a given year. But there's 4% of us actually have panic disorder. So what's the difference between these folks and these folks? I can't even do this. The difference is really down here: frequency, how often does it happen, the level of stress, how much does it bother me that this is happening, this physical experience, and last one, preoccupation. How much do I worry about it? Okay, so people have panic attacks, people have panic disorder, very likely experience these same symptoms: the elevated heart rate, the dizziness, the can't catch their breath. Okay. Difference is, people with panic disorder, maybe they experience it quite a bit. Something else, that experience, that emotional experience, me being out of breath, if I don't have panic disorder, somebody who does have panic disorder, that is scary as anything. So just imagine that, if you're worried, that if you have panic disorder and you're worried and you can't catch your breath, oh my goodness, I'm going to die. People do feel that way because you're out of breath. If you're on a treadmill, same elevated heart rate, not so distressing. Okay. And the other thing is preoccupation. People with panic disorder wake up every day and they got one job. And what job is that? To panic. Right? Sorry, what was that?
Panic.
To panic. And maybe panic about, geez, I hope I don't
mess up or whatever.
Yes, because I don't want to feel those feelings. They're too scary. And that's what they spend their time thinking about. The more you say, I don't want to get scared, kind of know how that tends to work. Worry and ruminating, just about life, people, things. Do I have this or that? About 98% of us are there. The 2% who don't worry, don't ruminate, I would submit to you that they're either lying or they have a bigger problem than anybody who worries or ruminates. If you're not worrying about anything, you're not ruminating at all, there's something